So I didn't get into music because I was especially confident. In fact, the exact opposite. I think like a lot of people, a lot of young people who didn't know quite who they were or what they were feeling, it became a way for me to package my understandings of who I was or who I wanted to become into something that enabled me to feel safe. So the songwriting at that point became a bit of a well-being tool, well before that term became well used for mental health. So I wrote my own songs because I wasn't very good at playing other people's songs, but it very much identified a process by which something existed at the end of that day or at the end of that session that didn't exist beforehand, and how that made me feel. That was the point. That was the seed that got planted decades ago. So I was able to identify songwriting as a way to soothe myself, to regulate myself, and to make sense of things, make sense of how I was feeling and how I was navigating the world at that point in my life. And honestly, it's still that way for me. It's very much a well-being tool, a journey of discovery. And over the years, that has led me into producing, which I now absolutely love. Producing has taught me something deeper, that most of the work isn't technical, it's emotional. It's what we do in the studio, the falling over, the feeling vulnerable, the moving past that. That's for me where the magic lies. And I've done a lot of work on myself over the years as a human being, as someone who was very anxious as a teenager, even as a child. So I'm trying not to be afraid to show you aspects of my life, what I feel is a meaningful life, one that has steered me to look at myself, my behaviours. It's prodded me in ways that I never thought life would prod me. It has encouraged me to look at and not be afraid to show emotional vulnerability. And it's very much encouraged me to communicate, to find the right words, to not be afraid, to call people out on their stuff. I am a highly sensitive person. This means I notice everything. I feel things intensely. But this isn't something I've learnt to overcome or get rid of. This is very much something I do lean into. And it is almost a superpower, dare I say. So this is my studio. I may do a tour at some point. It's very modest. It's not crammed with expensive equipment. It's all about the space. It's all about curating a safe space, a space where vulnerability is not afraid, where you are not afraid, a space to explore, and time to do it. Time to allow us to lean into process, to hold that moment long enough for the song to reveal itself, perhaps in a way that you had not seen it before or even heard it before. So I love working with people who are not afraid to show vulnerability. Maybe you do feel stuck sometimes, maybe you do feel like it's all, what's it all for? But if I can be a conduit for you to find the deeper element of who you want to be as a recording artist, then I feel I've done my job really, really well. I'd like to think I'm someone who allows us to stay in the process long enough for the truth to surface. I've been doing this a long time, decades, and if it's taught me anything, it's how to protect the fragile moments, that the parts of the process where honesty lives. I love this work. I'm passionate about this work. And it's a craft I very much respect. It's way more than 10,000 hours for me. The point is very much the process. The outcome should sound nice. the outcome should make you feel like you've been on a bit of a journey, and maybe you come out with something that you never thought you'd come out with before. So if any of this sounds familiar, or you just want to find out a little bit more, then please reach out. This is Creative Pathologies. It's something I'm hugely passionate about, and I'll be exploring more of. All right, you have a good day. Thanks.